So you're getting super close to having a project done. Your hard drive is just on the verge of being overflowed with too much data. So if you're like myself and you're a Final Cut 10 user at some point in time, you have run into that exact situation that we just watched. Now have no fear, because in this video, we're gonna go through a quick, simple way that I've kind of worked into my workflow over the past few years to save a lot of time and space within my Final Cut project libraries and just projects in general, coming up next. So let's go ahead and hop into our hard drive, popping in on the SanDisk, gonna hop into our folder, our DIY YouTube video project I did in the past. And when I click on there, the project, actually the library itself, is 65 gigs, which is just way too big. And what you'll come to find time and time again is that if you're doing multiple projects, these libraries being this big are really going to take up too much space on your hard drive. So we're gonna go ahead and open it up here, and we're gonna walk through the quick, simple steps that I've found to kind of shrink the library size and make it more user-friendly. So as we've entered Final Cut, we're gonna go full screen here. Coming into our library, and up on the right-hand side over here, as you guys can see, we've kind of got the library properties, and currently it's saying it's 65.6 gigs, which is entirely too much. So we're going to go into the modify settings. And when we pull that up, you're going to see where the media is housed, which we have in our DIY Lite folder. And then the motion content, we're going to kind of leave that alone. Typically, I just always leave it in motion templates folder. And now where it gets tricky and where I find that you can really save some space here is in your cache and your backups. Now currently it's set to library. Now that we're going to spend some time really quick addressing. That is where these things are going to get really big. Is it going to be actually having the cache in your library? What I found in the past, we're going to actually cancel out of here real quick, is go to your hard drive, pull it up. Actually learned this from a trained Final Cut professional, and he advised going ahead and creating a folder, which I actually already have here. We're going to do that just real quick to give you guys a perfect example. New folder, and we're going to label it FCPX Final Cut Pro 10 files. Now the reason being, we're going to use that is where we actually put our cache. Now I'm not going to hit enter and save it here because I already currently have one above it, but if you guys are currently doing that, just hit enter and leave that folder there. Now let's go back into Final Cut really quick, and we're going to then use that folder we just created. Going full screen, clicking on our library, once again, top right corner, modify settings, and we're going down to cache. This time, we're gonna go to choose. Now when we go to choose, we're then gonna go to that folder we just created in our SanDisk, and FCPX files. As you guys can see, there are actually some files from past projects. I'm gonna hit choose. Now once we've done that, we have basically informed Final Cut that from here on out, we want all our cache files to go in that cache folder that we have just created on our hard drive. One little side note, that's gonna come in handy down the road when you're done with the project. You can go in and actually delete those cache files because you're not gonna need those anymore when you're not working within that project. And last but not least, we're scrolling down to backups. Same thing here, we're gonna go to choose, and we're going to then go back to that folder that we created earlier, the FCPX files, choose, and we're gonna hit OK all around. So leaving media where it was, we're gonna leave the motion content alone. Really the big kickers here are the cache and the backups need to now be saved in our FCPX files folder that we recently created. We're gonna hit OK. Now here's where it gets interesting. You are gonna be asked if you want to include or don't include. My go-to is I don't include, and this is where I find that I save all the space. So we're gonna do don't include. And here in just a second, we should look up at the top right corner of our library, and it should have adjusted to what I would consider a significantly smaller size. So we'll there. And if you guys can see up here in the top right corner, we went from 65 gigs down to 8.7 megabytes. And if you really don't trust me in regards to what it's doing there, I'll escape out of Final Cut real quick. We'll go into our hard drive and go to that project file that we were in earlier. putting it in the library, and once again, it says the 8.7 megabytes. Now guys, the reason I really wanted you to be able to do this is that I spent so many years within Final Cut just completely destroying hard drives and wiping them out in regards to space and data. That one little trick alone has saved me terabytes and terabytes of space, and I find that while those cache and backup files / projects are good to have when working in a project in real time, once the project's actually done and completed, to just go ahead and remove those off there and just keep your library and keep all your files. And if you need to go back, you're just going to relink files. That is by far the best, most efficient way that I've found to save as much space with these mega projects coming in the 4K files and high resolutions. So hey guys, it's Trey Lowell with Lowell Productions, and as always, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like the content I keep creating on this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next camera video, or tutorial video, or vlog, or video ad video. Just keep an eye out on the new content. Podcast, stock footage, go check it out, like and subscribe.